Namaskar, hello and a very warm welcome to CIET NCERT's special live phone-in interactive program. My name is Tanvi Khurana and here we are with the series on the journey of National ICT Awardee teacher. And you're watching us on eVidya channel number 6 to channel number 12. We have a very special guest with us, and if you have any questions regarding his journey, how did he start his journey, what were the challenges, there has to be certain ups and downs in his career, the way he started his journey, and there are so many questions that I have for him. If you also have any queries, please reach out to us. You can simply call us on our number, which is 8800440559. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, which is NCERT Official, in the live chat box, you can write down your questions, your queries, and share them with us. Till 5 o'clock, our expert is going to be with us, and he'll be more than happy to answer all your queries, all your doubts. There is an email ID as well. If you want to share your questions through email, then email ID would be training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in. So we have definitely a lot of queries. Let me please introduce to you our guest for today, and he is Mr. Rajesh YN. Sir, a very warm welcome to you.
Namaste.
Namaskar.
Thank you very much. Hello everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much for giving us your time, sir. Sir is an assistant teacher from Government High School, Mallupura, Mysore, Karnataka. And he'll be answering all your queries and all my queries as well. So before we begin this conversation, let me just give you an important piece of information that is regarding India's G20 presidency. We are extremely proud of the fact that India assumed G20 presidency and would convene the G20 Leaders Summit for the first time in the country this year, that is 2023. A nation deeply committed to democracy and multilateralism, India's G20 presidency would be a watershed moment in her history, as it seeks to play an important role by finding global, pragmatic solutions for the well-being of all, and in doing so, manifest its true spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or should I say the world is one family. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam also translates to one earth, one family, one future, and that is exactly the theme of this year's India's G20 presidency. So let's begin with this conversation without further ado, and I would like to ask Sir, would you like to tell us in which particular year did you win this National ICT Award, and what was the feeling when you received this award, and especially regarding your journey, where exactly did it start, in which particular year, and what was the motivation behind it, sir?
Yes. Hello again. The year was 2012. The National ICT Award for me was awarded in the year 2000 for the year 2012, and it was in 2013 I received on September 5th on National Teachers Day. I joined this school that you are seeing on the screen, Government High School, Mallupura, in the year 2006. This school is now 17 years old. I am also 17 years in that school. That is, I joined the school at the same time when the school started. I am the first teacher to join the school. It was, in fact, a lot of opportunities to explore for me. In fact, it is also a lot of challenges I had to face a lot of challenges in the same school. So eventually, for 3-4 years, I struggled a lot. Those struggles, in fact, I put those struggles in the form of a presentation in front of the juries. So they understood my struggles with the students, that what I did to create curiosity among the children. Maybe at this point of time in 2023, those things look like old things, but then all those were new to the students. They were very curious to look at the screen. They were very curious to watch the videos. They were very curious to touch the mouse, play with the mouse, play simulations, come up with the result, all those things. In fact, there is also another point why I received National ICT Award, is that we had a group of teachers who started spreading free and open source softwares all over Karnataka in the form of trainings, which was organized by the Department of State Education Research and Training. That was one part, and along with the spread of cause, we also started some other things which we are going to discuss in today's session. I think that is enough for the time now. We'll explore things later on in this session.
Absolutely. So, sir, shall we begin?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, would you like to explain the presentation you have prepared to all our viewers?
Yes, I would like you to watch this one arrow mark here. I want to make this journey into five pieces. One is my experimenting, which started in 2006 until 2007. After 2000, sorry, 2009. After 2009, I formally got training from the department. From 2009 to 12, exploring and spreading fast, experimenting with collaborating with the teachers and sharing the ideas and all. Then the important part, 2013 ICT Award, which opened a gateway for new world and for new opportunities. Then again, from 2013 to 2016, I worked as national resource person. Even now, I'm working as national resource person, but those periods were window period for me. Then from 2016 to 2021, one more important part in my professional as well as personal life, I involved in one of the major teacher training programs in Karnataka, technology assisted learning program 2016 to 2025. I was out of school there because I was assigned a different role rather than teaching. We'll talk about that later. Then in 2019, one more breakthrough. I got a Fulbright scholarship from US government where I went to US because of the gateway opened by National ICT Award in 2013. Yeah, so these are the things that I would like you to know about my journey, which part by part we are going to uh, see in detail. As you could see, this was the initial stage of my school. A residue of um, the building there, that was a shed which was made by the coconut dry leaves. It was constructed by the people of village parents. They paid 50 rupees each to construct that small hut where 80 to 90 students would sit under that coconut dry leaves shed. Then, when ninth standard started, we had no room yet, so we had to start the class in the shed. No, sorry, stage on the stage. These were some initial adjustments. This went on for 2 3 years. Luckily, we had one primary school attached to the same school. They were also running out of rooms, so they could only give us one room. This one room was organized into office come classroom where we used to involve the students to show videos, create interest, all those things. It was also the place where teachers explored ICT back then. As I was receiving training until 2009 and 10, teachers used to get my help to explore ICT. So this room acts as multi-resource room then, but later on we received some funds from the government. There were buildings constructed. There were so many things that flown into the school. But initially, a lot of struggle went on. One of the good things about then is there were no such type of internet facilities. I call it as good because students were not exposed to different kinds of video resources or audio resources or images, rather we call it. Everything was new to them. Everything they looked into was very passionate. So I could able to cash on that curiosity and bring them into the class. That was a new high school. Students would be joining to the regular schools they went on, maybe in towns and all. So we had to gather the students. We have to create confidence among the parents to send their children to that school. As it is government school, many private schools were there around Mallupura. So people sent their children to those private schools paying heavy money. So we wanted to prove parents that government schools are not less than any private schools. So we started experimenting with whatever little infrastructure we had, little internet connectivity we had. Internet at that time was very costly. We had to download it from our homes. We should carry those things to the school and all. So sometimes there would be no current. When school started in 2006, we got a projector in 2009. For those 3 years, I personally used my brother's laptop to show the videos. I didn't even have a laptop, so I brought my brother's laptop to show the videos to the children so that the students would enjoy those classes. So even I encouraged the other teachers to use, like we had biology teacher who used laptop to show the images and all. So those were the early stages. We struggled a lot. We collected some information from the internet. We shared it through the students. Later on, when we started receiving the trainings, then we actually understood the concept of ICT, integrating ICT into the classroom. But during all those years, as I said, it was the initial years for us. Most of the teachers were young and they were passionate about teaching. They wanted to explore the things and all. So we were like student teachers. There were students on one side who wanted to learn things, where there were teachers on the other side who wanted to learn things. Both wanted to learn. Students wanted to learn what the teacher gave them. Teacher wanted to learn what to give them. So this is how we developed. Students developed, school developed, I as a teacher developed. I can say that as school developed, I developed. As I developed, the school also developed. It is both. It is mutual contribution by both me and the school. This is the left side picture video is me explaining a concept in the class way back in 2010. You can see the classroom there. The classroom 2010. There was one more room built. Everything was there, arranged in the room itself. We used one projector, but even in that projector, I didn't stop to allow the children to explore the concepts themselves. I only helped them to gain the concept. During that time, there was NCF introduced. There was more emphasis on learning by doing. So I always focused on how can I integrate ICT in such a way that I can allow the students to learn by doing. So even if you can see in this video, I do not have control over the mouse whatsoever. The students use the mouse to explore the things. I am only a facilitator there. As I cannot give multi instruments to the students, I used only thing available and made them to explore the things. Nowadays, the school has improved a lot. You can see in the right picture, we have so many buildings. There are many opportunities for the students to learn. Donors have given, because as the school has developed, there are so many donors who have donated things. Each room now, at least 5 rooms in my school now has projector. There are more than 15 computers now, all were given by the donors. There are laptops the teachers use, there are TVs, there are all-in-one systems, there are all-in-one projectors, interactive boards, everything is available in the school now after 17 years. So now I am enjoying this facility as a teacher, as a National ICT Awardee. I can show you some more examples which go on in our schools. Students use ICT in the interactive boards to present their projects. They are allowed to present their projects. This is a project that I wanted to mention. Here the students used ICT to measure the map of the school as well as the village. They wanted to measure the area of the school. They wanted to build a map of the school. So they took pictures, they identified trees, they identified the water tank. In order to measure the distance manually, they used bicycle. It is a curious thing to understand how the students explored where they can measure longer distance. They don't want to hold thread and find the distance. Instead, they used wheel, where it acted like circumference of the wheel, measures the distance, all those things. And also inside the computer lab, the students are given the opportunity to explore the things. They will be given worksheets. They have to fill the worksheets by observing things. I only infer what they have learned. So these are all the things that the school give the students so that they construct their knowledge themselves. This has been going on from almost 17 years, except the period where 4.5 years, I was out of school. I went to DSCRT for some other official program. The other teachers are using this up to certain extent. But now I'm back in school. I'm also exploring more possibilities. We'll talk about it later. In the year 2009, Karnataka state government, recalling or understanding the ICT's potential in education, the teachers. There came two things. One is subject teachers forum. During subject teachers forum, teachers were introduced into FAST tools. So far, even I had been using computers for almost 7-8 years. I had never heard about FAST tools. That was the first time I saw Ubuntu. That was the first time that I came to know about the free and open source softwares. When I used one private proprietary software, I always thought of the other ways of using downloading it. I didn't know about the licenses that had to adopt in order to download those things. So these were the things that I came into that I came to know after attending these trainings. But luckily, as I was curious to know things, as I was curious to learn, when I started attending these trainings, immediately I picked up the things and I became master resource person, state resource person within the span of 6 months. So I went to a place where we discussed the strategies of the training throughout the state. We discussed what should be the first session, what should be the next session. We created worksheets for the teachers. We created assignments for the teachers. So I was part of those training group, those teachers group, which planned the sessions for all the 10 days of training. Later, it was split into five days each, two trainings, 5 days each. So I went back to the diets, I went back to schools to train the teachers and spread the message of free and open source softwares. In fact, some of the people would used to call me, quarrel with me sometimes that Windows is good or some other Apple software is good. So many things went on. There was debate among the teachers. Finally, the teachers could agree that free and open sources are also one of the major things that we had to adopt in government schools, especially in government schools, because that would save a lot of money. In turn, that would help the students to gain more resources needed for them. As the money allocated for the students would be a certain amount, that would be distributed even to buy the software. So if we use free and open source softwares, that money would be used for some other purposes. So while using Ubuntu, we started training the teachers to install Ubuntu, to collaborate with free and open source. And we wanted the teachers to know about the digital citizenship, and we wanted the teachers to know about the copyright issues. I learned the copyright issues first, then I explored the things more about copyrights. I became somewhat at that time I became somewhat expert in using using copyrights and all. So these things went on for 2-3 years. IT for Change encouraged me to apply for National ICT Award. I didn't even know about that. So it encouraged me, and there was one more fellow teacher in the same group, Radha, who was in Bangalore. We both applied for the National ICT Award in the year 2012. We went for the presentation. I should share a curious thing there also. When we went for the presentation, there was a joint director, Dr. Rajaram Sharma, who saw the presentation, and I don't know whether he was impressed by the presentation or he wanted to introduce these free and open sources for the other presenters as well. We were the only people who use free and open sources, I and Radha. So he asked me to spend 10 more minutes tomorrow or the next morning to explain, to present things about free and open sources for the other teachers who came to the presentation. In that sense, we became the ambassadors for the ambassadors of free and open source throughout the country, because there were presenters from all over Karnataka, all over India, starting from Kerala, Pondicherry to Kashmir. I still remember the people who were there in the presentation. I was so overwhelmed by the opportunity that I got. I felt very proud. Rather, it was equal to the national award for me. The time where I got the time for presenting these Ubuntu are free and open source for the other fellow teachers across from across the country. During that training, as I said, it was Subject Teachers Forum. Subject Teachers Forum has many phases. Like there was training going on, there were discussions, pedagogical discussions in the training, there were discussions about copyrights, there were discussions about free and open source. At the same time, there were Google groups. WhatsApp was not there. These social media platforms were not so big then. WhatsApp, I don't know whether WhatsApp was there or not, but it was not so famous. So we used another technique, another thing which was freely available, Google Groups. Now I would like to share the Google group that we created back in 2010-11. This is the Google groups that we have. I would like you to share, look at this number. It is 96,208 mail threads. It is not a single mail. It is mail thread. 96,000 nearly. It is Math Science STF. 96,000 plus mails have been shared.
So that's a huge number.
Yes, yes. That it is nearing to 1 lakh now. It is almost 10 years now, more than 10 years, but the teachers are extensively using this. There are subgroups, there are groups, subgroups, there are 15 groups that I am part of. I am manager in some of the groups. I could add more numbers. We spent late days and nights in adding numbers, teachers from all over the state. There are more than 1,800. If you see, there are 803 members in Talp Karnataka group. I could, if possible, I can show all those, but let us not go into those details. We also have COED team. COED is another important discussion I wanted to carry on. COED is like Karnataka Open Educational Resources. This was the first time I heard about open education resources. By chance, we heard about these things in STF. We had one session for open education resources. At one discussions, we thought that Ranjini, who was our mentor at that time, who was from IT for Change, went on creating Karnataka along with Gurunath Kashinathan. Both of them went on to create Karnataka Open Education Resources. Later on, it became part of Government of Karnataka. So this is for the teachers, by the teachers, and it is built by the teachers. The resources are limited, but all these things were built by the teachers. It is shared to the teachers. It is based on wiki. The wiki page can be edited by anyone. There were time where COED training went on for 5 days. So for 2 years, we gave COED training, Karnataka Open Education Resource training for the teachers across the state. So some of them used their free time to create resources. They shared it to the Karnataka Open Education Resources. They shared it through Google Groups and all. So this was the journey that happened before National Award and during National Award and after National Award as well. As time flows, the things change. Even now, Karnataka Open Education Resources are not is not prominently being used by the teachers. In fact, they have found some other ways of sharing the resources. Some other ways, it is not organized properly. That one drawback I have, that one drawback is there in our plan. We didn't look into the fact that this should carry on. This should be carry on for 10 years or 15 years like that. So at some point of time, this went out of the memory of the people, teachers. We had something different in Karnataka. We'll talk about that in next few minutes. This was the photo where I got national award. Later, one of the major things that I had in my personal as well as professional life is TALP training. TALP stands for Technology Assisted Learning Program, which started in the year 2016. You know, some of the directors and administrative officers dreamt of integrating ICT into education in Karnataka, along with the help of Central Institute of Education and Technology (NCERT). They came up with some plans. Like when some officers went to NCERT, they heard about ICT curriculum. Meanwhile, I was part of ICT curriculum because of the national award. When I received national award, I said there were many windows, many doors opened as opportunities for me. One of those opportunities is CIT gave me chance to become part of ICT curriculum, especially student curriculum. So that was prestigious work that I was assigned to. Person to person, face to face, online as well. We had Google Sheet collaboration. Then later on, when some officers went to NCRT, they heard about this ICT curriculum. CIT shared their plans with their Rajaram Sharma sir was there, Professor Amrita Behra sir was there, Angel ma'am was there. So all of them shared their ideas to the officers. So these officers were impressed by the training detail, so they wanted to implement TALP training, I mean ICT curriculum, introduce ICT curriculum to the teachers of Karnataka. You know, Karnataka is one state where these things are easily adopted by the education department. I'll tell you some facts about TALP training later, but 2016 is the year I came out of the school. I was called to Bangalore from my school to take part in curriculum building. Then the curriculum was under construction stage due to various reasons. CIT wanted to give the complete curriculum. During that period, 2016, Karnataka government wanted to launch it then and there itself, as money was allotted to them in the budget. So it collaborated. DSCRT collaborated with Ajit Premji Foundation to start educational ICT curriculum along with the principles given by the CIET. We used the same curriculum document prepared by CIET, NCERT, and built somewhat nearer to ICT curriculum. We built some videos. I want to share some videos there. But before sharing, the total number of teachers, look at the total number of teachers trained in TALP training. This is huge number. 38,624 members were trained for induction course, and 9,644 teachers were trained for refresher course. So this was all done from the year 2016-17 to 2020-21, along with present in the entire education department, so that everybody should understand the concept of integrating ICT into education. I was given a role of credential manager for 4 years. I, along with 4 other members, Ganeshna, Girish, and Radha Gurraj Vasudkar, looked after the training across the state. DSCRT assigned these roles to us. So we followed each and every teacher, whether the training has been carried out or not. We followed each and every diet, each and every day for 4 years, so that each and every teacher from different high schools of Karnataka, though they are from remote school or they are from city school, they had to be trained in 2 courses, induction and refresher. I'll show some of the content that we built during the initial stage of the training.
Okay, sir, in the meanwhile, can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you were explaining about TALP training. Can you add something more regarding that?
Yes, CIT planned to bring ICT, ICT curriculum in different phases. Like there were inductions, there were refresher courses, many refresher courses were there. Induction was the basic training for the teachers. It was like to obtain the skills needed for integration of ICT, starting from assembling a computer or starting from taking an image. It is not like assembling a computer, taking image, how to integrate into your lesson plan, making video, how to integrate into lesson plan and all. Editing was not there, but these small things were given importance in the first part. How to browse, how to save the documents, all those things were there. But entire ICT training, induction training was for 10 days. So during those 10 days, the teachers were completely busy. I have been attending the trainings for almost 17 years. That was the most successful training that we had in Karnataka. That was one of the successful trainings in Karnataka, because teachers never wanted to go home even after completion, even after 5:30 or 6 o'clock. They wanted to learn more. They wanted to explore more. That was the thing about induction and refresher courses. Refresher course had like pedagogical approach towards ICT integration. I received this refresher course training in Bhopal, RIE Bhopal. Then we came back. There were 13, 14 members from Karnataka. We came back. We in cascade mode. We gave those training to MRPs. That was like, we did B.Ed course again in Bhopal. Angel ma'am was there. She was continuously from morning till evening. She had the entire sessions in her own hand. We had divided those sessions into different parts, but everybody was aware of every session. It was like going through B.Ed M.Ed course again, that refresher course. We had Biju from Tamil Nadu. We had different teachers from different parts of country. Like we had sessions from, interactions from Paili sir. We had some discussion from other members as well. Behra sir was there online. Indu ma'am was there. So those were the details about refresher course. Unfortunately, these programs, but those 4 5 years impacted the teachers as well as students' lives so much that I don't know how this coincidence came. This was a coincidence. Like we had COVID time, where teachers, our students were not meeting each other. At the same time, most of the teachers from government schools in Karnataka were ready to go to teach students online. Though we are not facing each other, we had this training that most of the teachers used the technology to reach the students one or the other way. Each teacher has his own successful journey, his own successful story during the pandemic time. The students were benefited more because of these TALP trainings. In fact, TALP training also planned students' curriculum, but that didn't roll out as planned. But if that had happened before pandemic, the student would have gained much more education in that 2 3 years of time. I'll go to next slide.
Yeah, okay.
This was some of the photos that I received from the TALP training. This is from Diet Mysore. The next part is interesting thing. I said 2013 ICT award opened a gateway, opened many doors for me. One of the biggest things that I received is the Fulbright Scholarship Award in the year 2019. I still remember the date where I went for the interview after attending 2 3 rounds of selection procedure. They were impressed by all these things that I shared with them, free and open source softwares, training the teachers, collaborating with the teachers, creating curiosity among the students. All those things impressed them, and they selected me as TEA scholar, Fulbright TEA scholar for the year 2019. I was one among the 3 teachers selected in that year from India for that cohort. So I went to Lowell one place in the state, Massachusetts. I went to University of Massachusetts in that year. So this was possible because of ICT. I want to share some more details, that some more advantages, or I can say that these are the things that I received because of. One second.
Yeah.
I want to show one video here. I'm a physics teacher. I had done my MSc physics. I had heard about Van de Graaff generator. My college didn't have Van de Graaff generators where static electricity was produced through belts. This place is world's largest Van de Graaff generator. It is in a museum in Boston, National Museum in Boston. Luckily, I had the daringness to go sit inside that cage, where the presenter wanted to demonstrate that millions of volts won't affect you even if you are sitting inside a car. If you are inside a metallic chamber, the static charges don't affect you. You can see in the video that millions of volts, like lightning, millions of volt lightning is coming and hitting the cage. I knew the physics behind it, so I took the chance. There were thousands of people gathered around. Nobody didn't dare to go inside. He didn't announce. In fact, I approached him to sit inside. So he gave me a chance. I wrote something like, if something happens, I am responsible. All those things, conditions I wrote. But I went inside.
Wow.
It was one of the best experiences of my life. Can you imagine millions of volts we get electrocuted even in the presence of 50 or 80 volts. This is millions of volts. And also this is one of the opportunities. One more opportunity that I had as a science teacher, I always show this to the students because like I encourage them to explore the things more. This is one more opportunity that I had visiting. The background here is a nuclear reactor. I went to Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, TIFR, Bombay, next to which there is Baba Atomic Research Center. We are not allowed to go even near the gate also. But here I had the chance to go inside the nuclear reactor, see the reaction, see the mother of all lights. We call it as mother of all lights. Nuclear reactor glowing a blue light. This was Dr. Sukhed Arora, who is Indian, who is also the director for nuclear programs in that University of Massachusetts. He introduced himself. He came forward to explain the things. We went. He gave us extra credits. As I was Indian, there was one more lady from India, Renuka. So we bought. He was happy that Indians had come to visit nuclear reactors. So he took extra time. We spent almost half a day in the nuclear reactor. So that was a huge part of that was a huge, a long lasting memory for me, this nuclear reactor. And later in the same program, I went and taught in schools of as a teacher, I used ICT here. As a teacher, I used simulations to make the students understand. When we talk about the countries, developed countries like United States of America or European countries, we think that they are far ahead of us in using the technology. Of course they are. But what I felt is the classrooms, the students are the same. The classrooms are the same. Only difference between Indian situation and the US situation is the infrastructure. They have money, they can provide the better infrastructure. If you can see background, there is ultra throw projector. We have projectors. Rarely we find ultra throw projectors. Rarely we found interactive panels back then, 4-5 years back. Now we have interactive panels. Now we have ultra throw projectors. Only difference is the infrastructure. The teachers used ICT. We used ICT. But when the students had now in India, students don't have the access to internet. don't have the access to computers in government schools. Of course, we find better infrastructures in private schools or convents, but whereas in government schools, like where I work, students never get such opportunity where each of the student will have his own laptop, his own cell phones, his own internet connections. All those things were there in US. They had Google Classroom, they had different classrooms which were working. But I felt that the more how we reached the student, that spirit was not present in US during the pandemic time. I interacted with most of the teachers across the globe. I know, this TEA program gave me opportunity to understand ICT all throughout the world. There were people from teachers from 21 countries. So I interacted with them throughout the pandemic time. We had trainings, we had discussions. During those discussions, I came to know that India is one of the top countries in the world where ICT than any of the countries in the world, are equal to any other developed country in the world. Even the teachers trained, it was like I was one of the most trained ICT teacher there. So the plan was like this. They wanted to give us ICT training, but as I approached them with different methodologies, they made me take some sessions in using ICT for the classroom. We spend after hours teaching the teaching the teachers about the use of ICT. You can see that some of the snaps there where I participate in trainings there. We had lots of discussion. There were hands-on going on. There were different collaborations that went on. So these are the opportunities that I got because of the trainings that I received from the government. In fact, I should thank the Department of State Education Research and Training for giving me so much of opportunity. Those opportunities gave me the chance to gain name, gain fame, in fact, gain confidence to talk to all these people. Before going into US, I was not so confident about, even I was not confident in speaking in English. But once I started exploring the thing, these trainings gave me so much of confidence that I started becoming the leader, one of the leaders in that cohort. There were 23 teachers in University of Massachusetts. We were 23 teachers. When we came to Washington, there were 400 teachers all over, from all over, not 400, 173 teachers from all over the world. So even in Washington, I had the chance to interact with different people, different teachers across the globe. So everybody identified me as, it is still like, I feel the goosebumps there. Now also, everybody identified me like ICT guy. So I upheld my country's name in that place. I'm happy to share that because, India is always famous for IT industry. We have Bangalore, we have some other places, Pune and all, Hyderabad. They're all famous for IT industry. Now I am a teacher who has stood before them, and I'm using more and more technology compared to many of them. So they were all like, "Oh, Indians are next level." Maybe it is partially true, maybe it is partially wrong, but I had that like honor moment where people from all over the world looked at me like he uses ICT in a different level.
So
That was a great thing about it.
I
Yes.
think I can say that you made India proud, and definitely the way you are speaking, you are very confident, and when you spoke to all those people outside the country, it gave you immense confidence, didn't it?
Yes, definitely. I think that comes to the end of my presentation.
Right. So we don't have much time left, so I would like to ask you one last question and then we'll wrap up this program. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am,
Okay.
definitely.
So you mentioned that it's been 17 years since you joined this school, and you did everything for this school in your capacity. And the moment you tried to introduce ICT, what response did you get from your fellow teachers and the students? Were they interested? Did they show that no, that I want to learn ICT in our school? We are ready for a new innovation, something like that.
Initially, teachers were reluctant.
Okay.
I should admit that. Yes, because whenever we go with a different thing, first the mind resists that. But later on, once they got the grip of using ICT, they were very happy to use, because that was that created a new world. The students felt that as the river flows, some new teachers came. There are some situations arose in the school. New technologies were given to schools. All those things happened, but the spirit of using ICT never faded from the minds of the teachers, never faded from the minds of students. Especially, even yesterday, when I said, "Let us go to computer lab," the students were like they were rushing. We should see the spirit among the students to use computers to learn things.
Okay.
That never fades.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for answering the queries of our viewers, and thank you for letting us know this interesting part of your journey. And it's been 17 years, and that is a long time since you joined the school. And I really think that it was a commendable job that you did representing your nation outside the country. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. CIT, NCRT, thank you very much.
Thank you. Pleasure is all ours, sir. Thank you so much to all the viewers for being a part of this program. I really hope that you enjoyed listening to each and every part of the journey of our National ICT Awardee, and he was Mr. Rajesh YN. If in case you have missed this program, please watch it again on NCRT Official, that is our YouTube channel. And for now, we are wrapping up this particular program, but coming up next is another special program of ours that is called Sahyog, Guidance for Mental Well-Being of the Children. And the topic of discussion would be Discovering Our Passion. Please keep your questions ready and keep your watching eVidya channels. So before leaving, one last important piece of information for all of you. If in case you have not purchased the NCRT textbooks for this new academic year 2023-2024, then please purchase them. Either you can go directly to the sales counter, which are open from 9:30 to 6 p.m. on daily basis, and you can purchase those books directly. They are located in New Delhi, Bangalore, Ahmedabad, Kolkata and Guwahati. Or you can simply download the PDF versions of these textbooks. They are available on NCRT, Dikshauri Pathshala website or their mobile applications. And the third last option is you can purchase these books by placing an order on the website, which is ncrt.books.ncrt.gov.in. Place an order and you'll receive these textbooks at your place in no time, and you don't have to pay any delivery charge extra for that. So this was all the information regarding the textbooks. If you have not purchased it, please purchase them as soon as you can. Thank you so much for this interesting session, and I'm Tanvi Khurana. I'll take a leave of you. Please take care. Have a great day ahead. Namaskar.